Game number 1 of the Division S qualifier, the first Division S qualifier, and I'm actually hyped for this one. We are in the super early rounds. Keep your expectations low. We have 42 Esports here. They're a Division 2 game, a team of Heroes launch, and we have In the Rhythm, who don't participate in this particular series. But most of the players here are Masters or Grandmasters. We have, of course, a couple of former pro players soon going to join those games as well. Since Washed Up, for example, the team of Hazobs and Mene is waiting in one of the next rounds as well. But we're here in the super early round, in the first round, so we're going to jump into that best of 3 series. In case that you don't know how the tournament system works, it's actually really simple. The team, we have 4 qualifiers in total. We need to determine 8 teams that will qualify for Division S. Each team that wins a qualifier automatically qualifies for Division S, and the remaining 4 teams that we need to determine to fill up those 8 teams that will make up Division S are determined by points that you can gather by participating in the qualifiers. And obviously, the farther you get into the tournament, the more points you get, and at the end of the 4 qualifiers, the top 4 teams of that ranking will join the 4 teams that won a qualifier each. Once it's 100% that you are qualified for Division S, either by winning a tournament or by getting so far ahead in points that your position can't be contested anymore, the teams are not allowed to participate in any additional qualifiers any longer, so that they can't impact the competition or for anyone else. And that's pretty much it. So we are finally ready, and we're getting the show started. We have already a Nuburak banned out here and a ban on Maiev. So obviously, there's a big difference of what we're seeing normally in Division 6 and Division 7. Today we are looking instead at more so meta bans, and we're going to have quite a lot of fun with this. There's a ton of streams out for that too. We will cover Division S in the future, so you can expect a lot of content coming through Division S. And if you are looking for your regular high-level Heroes of the Storm fix, this is probably where you're going to get it. So with our first match coming up, we have Tomb of the Spider Queen. We have Zeratul banned out, so no rotations between lanes and setups for potential Ring of Frosts with Jaina. But you can already tell that when you compare the drafting that we see in, let's say, Division 6, Division 7, and going now into a higher level of play, there's a heavy focus on heroes that can initiate attacks, being it like a tank, like a Nuburak, with a deep dive and a cocoon, being it a Diablo that of course can wall stun you, or just a Maiev or a Zeratul with Void Prison or a Tether there. And a very early pick into Jaina, so she is currently the #1 burst mage that we have in the meta. Her abilities really cater to that blow-up style, especially of course the Ring of Frost follow-up after stuns. But we haven't seen Tyrande yet, and Tyrande actually gets not picked by 42 Esports. Right now they're looking more so towards wave clear with Johanna and additional stuns with Hanzo, who of course can add that arrow. And I wouldn't be surprised to see In the Rhythm with a Tyrande setup. If they really want to roam between the top and the mid lane and get quick kills through Jaina and dominate that, Tyrande would be great. She is lacking a bit of wave clear though, and they go down a different path. They actually go for Ana. So we are gonna see the nano boost on Jaina for even more burst in these situations when heroic abilities and big team fights are going to happen. Garrosh is comboed off with that, so already an attempt of isolating a target and taking it down there, but they will need more wave clear. Jaina is great for wave clear. She's doing really well on that role, and in a lot of games you will see her oftentimes take camps solo in the later stages of the games too. But right now they are still in need of someone that can help them here. Offlane, of course, super important for that matter too. But even in the rotation, it would do well for them to have more wave clear so that they can deal with what 42 Esports is going to throw up against them. Phoenix banned out, so we don't have him as an auto attacker. Now, there is Reyna to consider, of course, if you're trying to go down that path. And with that said, we're having now on Tomb the last ban coming in for In the Rhythm. Gaming In the Rhythm here with a ban on maybe the off lane. Okay, that's not a good start in the tournament. Someone's nervous here. Either they're very nervous or very confident. They're like, we're not banning anything here. Are you kidding us? Like, we're way too good. Pick whatever you want. Like, we don't care. If it wasn't for the draft, we would just pick you, your 5 best heroes, and we are still going to shit on you. There comes Tyrande now, and Junkrat. Alright, Tyrande together with the Johanna setup. And we have Junkrat, first of all, wing opponents in, displacement, can also work against Garrosh. But yeah, the confidence there on that 3rd ban, or well, shouldn't call it a 3rd ban. The qualifier is starting off nicely. Last 2 picks here for in the Gaming In the Rhythm. Let's see how that's going to work out for them. Oh, Tracer Sonya. Not quite what I expected here. As I said, I personally thought there would be a bit more wave clear on their end, and now with Tracer, they don't really have that. I expected something a lot more AoE heavy. Sonya, of course, at the solo lane, that can be a bit of a different story. But that is a lineup that depends on a lot of individual carrying here. I hope Tracer has gotten her workout in. Don't skip leg day, boys. Don't skip leg days. If you have to carry your team, you need to put that backpack on and have those calves ready. And ETC on the off lane now with Echo Paddles. A lot of stuns for them here, trying to control the opponent's front line and also trying to control Sonya here. Game number 1, round 1, ladies and gentlemen. The first Division S qualifier as we are heading into Tomb of the Spider Queen, our first map. Game number 1 starts up, and to the left we have 42 Esports, Opa Dopa on Junkrat, Thunderbear on ETC, we have Weirdbeard on Toranda, D-Trio on Johanna, and Yuki on Hanzo. 42 Esports in blue on Tomb of the Spider Queen, and to the right it is Gaming in the Rhythm with Haft on Garrosh, Linquist on Tracer, Labuta on Sonya, the Pink Unicorn on Jaina, and Speely is playing Ana in this first game. Good to go and ready to rumble as we are heading into our first match here. So once again, we are in the first round of the first Division S qualifier in Europe. And the team that wins here is later on going potentially up against Mene's team, against Team Washed Up with Mene, Hazops, JPL, Eternal, and Smexy. So they already know that they are going to be in for a test later, but now they have to make their way through the first round. That second round, first of all. Down at the bottom of the map, as expected, ETC gonna fight with Sonya here. Keep in mind that ETC's wave clear is pretty much non-existent at the beginning. It starts to ramp up that he has access to his level 7 talent if you want to go for wave clear. Now, oftentimes you will see a face melt build for ETC if he's played as the main tank. But in an off-tank role, when you're trying to get the wave clear in, then you really need to make sure that you have your Echo Paddle ready on level 7 to get that extra damage in. But as it stands, we're now having, especially when it comes to wave clear, a little bit of a problem here for Gaming in the Rhythm, because they don't have a lot. Most of their wave clear is centered around Jaina, and she's good with that. But that rotation that we're now seeing the entire time on the side of their opponent, the 42 Esports, is a pretty powerful one. Now, most of the players that we have in this game are either Grandmaster or Master players, so a couple of diamonds in here too. But of course, we're also still in the first round of the tournament. And keep in mind, this is a best of 3 series. And of course, we're going to go over some of the tournament results later on too. Haft already getting attacked here in the middle. Again, he's not the only one that has displacement here. We have also Junkrat in a position where he basically has the same thing. And that is something that Haft has to be very careful about, because Garrosh might be great to put an opponent into a dangerous situation. He himself, though, doesn't really have a whole lot of mobility that he can use. So needs to be a little bit careful for sure. With that said, we now have still the rotation dominated by 42 Esports, but we didn't really see any kills just yet. But they're doing pretty well, just pushing those lanes out. There comes the aggression. Again, they're going for Pink Unicorn, and they nearly managed to get him pushed back in, but instead they're focusing on Haft. And Garrosh is in trouble and might fall here. Haft is barely alive. Ana doing what she can. But Garrosh goes down and is the first blood in the game now. Gems dropping, and well, for now, we're seeing 42 Esports doing fairly well here. They still need to turn in, of course, quite a bit, but they already secured 10 of their gems. We have level 4 talents now on both sides, and with that said, we're looking for Hanzo at Explosive Arrows now on level 4, going still full strong into a Stormbow build here. We're also having, besides that, pretty typical builds with Proc Rock on ETC now taken, obviously on a map that is as globe heavy as Tomb of the Spider Queen, where you have easy rotations later on between lanes and get quite a lot of globes. You want to go for those stacking talents. They're actually fantastic here. Talking stacking, Ana, she's going to be very interested to at least get the 10 stacks together to get the partial quest reward in the first range extension. And so far she's only sitting at 3 sleep darts. So needs to try and work on that level 1 a little bit more. Stuns are coming out, as we said before, and D-Trio is currently just trying to go in deep for those gems. They haven't turned any spares in just yet. ETC is still fighting with Sonya at the bottom of the map. But the blue team is just trying to control the flow of the top heavy lanes for the time being. They got the first kill, looking good so far with the rotations, but they're not really too aggressive here. I mean, it is one of these setups where you want to be a bit careful. You're in the first round of the tournament, you need to play it safe. And here comes the rotation down to the bottom of the map. Labuta needs to be cautious, but Tracer moves in too. And Linquist does not yet try and go for the kill here. Labuta still able to move out, but yeah, slight attempts to really set up a gank here. Nothing too fancy just yet, but now we have 27 gems turned in total by the team in blue. And I mean, keep in mind, their composition in general has good wave clear and is really nice for the map, but one of the aspects that we haven't really talked about yet is the poke potential. They have a lot of poke. They can really just try and poke these heroes down with the arrows of Hanzo. They can try and do that a bit late on him. They have also the grenades from Junkrat. So it's actually a pretty annoying setup to go up against if you want to turn in. And you can see it right there. There's owls coming through. There's scatter shots coming in. We have grenades being dropped. So it's really, really tricky for the red team to get an uncontested turn in. And that would most likely come after they are able to take maybe a kill. But so far, that hasn't happened. So definitely a bit of a nuisance. Tracer able to move away here, but barely. Thunderbear was already looking for another power slide, but couldn't close the distance. Now they're trying to shift the target, though, and they're going for Ana immediately. And Ana is low, but they have to turn it around, and there comes the bomb. Yuki is down, and with Yuki down, they're trying to get a second kill. And Tyrande with one stun after another, but Tracer already moving away here. Low on HP, as is everyone on the side of In the Rhythm. But the team in red is doing a fantastic job so far and is now trying to take the position here. Turning in, they're 40. They might get the full turn in, but the re-engage is happening as 42 Esports is going for the delay. Hanzo is back on the map, but still has to travel to the fight itself. A kill for a kill thus far, but with all the poke that we're seeing for 42 Esports, they are in a position where they finally are able to claim the Web Weavers. They delayed the red team for as long as they could, moved back in, and with everybody low for In the Rhythm, they went straight in and took them down here. Job well done so far, but let's see how much value they can get out of the Web Weavers. We have level 7, and that means Echo Paddle for ETC. As explained earlier, you need the ability here if you really want to make sure that you're getting value out of him being a solo laner, because you need that wave clear. With that said, Celestial Attunement on 7, of course, as well, against what we're seeing on the other side here, especially against Garrosh's taunt later and the stun. For now, we're actually seeing the Web Weavers focus mostly at the top, where the blue team is heavily pushing in, opening up the wall. They're trying to get a little bit more. Stuns come out, but Weird Beard is so far not really hitting those. 4 stacks only on level 1, but uh-oh, Jaina. Garrosh with a save, uses the Indomitable to move out. Pink Unicorn was in trouble. Jaina was in trouble here, but he was able to save her. Moved in, no fear whatsoever. He's like the fireman of gaming In the Rhythm. Whenever there is an incident, he's immediately there and helps them out. But the fort has fallen regardless. The fort is down, and that is now passive experience increasing for 42 Esports over time. So they will get a lead out of this. They already hold on to a half-level lead for now, and that, of course, means earlier level 10 abilities. And with that, they can be aggressive again, and that's exactly what they're doing. Heavily rotating into the middle. Ooh, the Blessed Shield attempt by D-Trio, missing out against Linquist. But they are able to open up the wall, get some damage in. Should try and take down the fountain here, too. A little bit disappointed that they didn't, but they're looking at a second turn in, so they were trying to buy a little bit more time for that. And already Opa Dopa turned in. Everybody down here is trying to do the same thing as well. The stuns come in. The arrow is out. Mosh pit. Oh, that is a little bit of a fiesta right there. In comes the ring. Tracer is down, but so is Tyrande. Sonya falls shortly after, making it a 2-for-1 trade. And here comes the Riptire, pushing Halfdan Garrosh back in. Ana is healing as much as she can, but there's the power slide, and Haft is down, and they're trying to get another kill against Pink Unicorn, who currently holds 38 gems and gets away with 50 HP. Interesting setup there. The mosh pit kind of missing. The interesting part about the mosh pit was that the recall position of Tracer was actually within the mosh pit, but Thunderbear realized it too late. He cancelled the mosh pit as he saw he didn't catch anybody, and then when Tracer recalled back in, it was already cancelled. They still got the kill though, but now we're having 4 kills against 2. The blue team still half level ahead, and the most important part, they just secured themselves another Web Weaver wave. So the second one in a row for the blue team is now coming through, and they are going to get serious damage now. They already dropped the first fort of the game at the top in the last encounter. Now they're focusing on the bot lane with siege giants that they took, and in the middle we have ETC also holding the position here. And we have to talk about ETC for a second as well. I mean, he went into an off-lane build, but he didn't go for a stage dive. Now, this is a small map, so you can definitely go into mosh pit here. Especially since there are not that many stuns on the other side. There are a couple, don't get me wrong. It's not like every hero there can interrupt the mosh pit. But still, oftentimes, even on a small map, you will still see the stage dive if you want to run a bit of a global aspect. They decided against it, and it's not a bad decision by any means, but definitely something that's noteworthy. And when we're coming down to the damage, we have by now Hanzo still with 23,000 here. Sonya is trying to contest that. Talking Sonya, she gets stunned out. There's everything coming in. Riptire gets slowed. Oh, they take the Riptire down. The Ring of Frost actually in this case helpful against the Riptire. I'm not even kidding there. But as you can tell, we have just 4 kills against 2. We're now looking at level 13 abilities. The forts have all been taken out, and Gaming in the Rhythm is currently down to their last line of defense, and that is, of course, the keeps themselves. And even the keeps are under some pressure. The top lane Web Weaver has completely destroyed the wall, and they're even about to take down that fountain. The keep itself is taking some damage too, and the pressure in the middle, while the defense is happening, is still continuing. We have 42 Esports breaking through another wall here. And as I said before, one of the things that's going to be very important to check out is the passive experience. The lead here already at 1,500 experience for the blue team, and with now 3 forts eliminated, that lead is going to continue significantly as time passes. The only thing that Gaming in the Rhythm can do here is attempt to take down those forts as well to even it out again. But with this, it is getting really, really tricky because time is working in favor of 42 Esports for now. I mean, you can see how this gap is increasing between the passive experience right there. We're already looking at nearly 2,000, so it is an issue. You have to do something about it or you will fall farther and farther behind. And that's exactly the risk that In the Rhythm is running right now. They have their own level 13 talents, and that of course helps slightly. Sonya's build slightly adjusted with even no escape, so it's all about the movement speed for her, at least for the time being. But with that being said, they still have a nice setup around the Ring of Frost and also the Taunt of Garrosh. If they get a good engage, they can make that play. They have 104 gems, by the way. 104 gems in the hands of In the Rhythm. That is their ticket back into the game, but only if they can hold on to them and don't lose heroes. And here comes the Blessed Shield. The attempt to kill someone with a Riptire gets taken out again, but the push against the keep is still ongoing. But what Gaming in the Rhythm really needs, they need a kill. Garrosh also needs to take his level 13, but they need a kill and then turn in. If that happens, they're in a decent spot. They have potentially 3 turn-ins in a row if they gather a few more gems. And as long as they hold on to the majority of those, they will still look decent. Arrow misses barely. And here comes again the move. Hanzo gets taunted. They're trying to go for the kill, but Hanzo survives. Tyrande with a save. The Ring of Frost comes on the backline. Haft is stunned and about to fall, but somehow survives. Ana working overtime here to keep them alive. The stun comes in from Tyrande once more, but there is no follow-up. Barely surviving, but a close encounter again for Gaming in the Rhythm. Great job, though, by Ana in particular to heal everyone up and save them in this particular instance. Now, of course, we have another 22 gems in the hands of the blue team. That means that they are close to a 3rd turn-in. And that's not the only thing they're close to. Thanks to the passive experience increase and also the kills and forts that they took, they're looking now at a situation where they are about to hit level 16 talents. And that is a big issue. And this is the moment where the blue team just says, well, let's just prevent them from turning in. And here's the turn-in attempt by the red team. They throw a bit of a Hail Mary there. They know they have to. Can't wait forever with this one. Again, the sleeps are coming out. Ana by now has 15 stacks, so 5 away from getting the 2nd reward on her quest and even more of a distance. Indomitable being used on Half just at the right time when the Blessed Shield comes out. Uses the taunt, but goes down again. Once more, the slide. Great ice block, but Jaina is still in trouble. Yep, that's Tracer dipping away, but we have 2 heroes down. The 3rd one falls, and that's a ton of gems lost. More than 50 gems just now lost by In the Rhythm. And the immediate rotation towards the boss, even in vision of In the Rhythm, and Gaming in the Rhythm can't do anything about it. It's a 5 versus 2. Nothing you can do about this right now, and that is a horrible situation for Gaming in the Rhythm to be in. Their top lane is already exposed. The Keep is the only structure standing on that lane. They lost everything else. Now they turn an attempt at the bottom. It's just an attempt to help them defend and buy a little bit of time. And so far they're doing well with it. ETC is trying to get the interrupt, but he's slightly too late. So the boss gets traded for Webweaver Wave, but it might still cost the Keep towards the top. The rest of the lanes are so far pushed out that this one turn is not going to do a whole lot for Gaming in the Rhythm. I mean, that's obvious. The only thing they're hoping for right now is stay alive a little bit longer. Stay alive to get level 16, stay alive and try and defend the Keep here, and just do whatever you can to not lose the game right now and somehow crawl back into this. Webweavers are currently getting taken down by the blue team as they are attacking the top, and that of course is an easy keep. And that boss, well, it's already on a 40-30 HP, so they can still defend against this. The keep is down, the core survives, but the blue team is now rotating over into the middle, taking those web weavers down. They never even scratched the structures for obvious reasons. They were spawning so far out because every single lane was pushed out. But now we're having, at the bottom of the map, the last one taken apart. But at least they bought themselves some time. They knew that it wouldn't really do a whole lot for them, but they helped them with the defense. But now they can go for the next turn, and they're only 2 gems short of making that happen. And they have level 16 talents themselves. And that's actually pretty decent. I mean, we have double up by now on 13 for Haft, so he's going to try and increase his survivability. We're having on 16 with that also, Nerves of Steel, same idea. Increase the survivability, try to make a play there. They have 55 gems, but they need to win a team fight. And this is the time to do it. 16 versus 16 in talents. But so far the base battles, or the big battles, haven't really gone well for them. The turn-in attempt on the other side, and that's the problem. Here it comes. The next blue Webweaver wave as Opa is able to secure one more. And of course, that's now more keeps falling. And again, with the experience changes that we had come in a couple of months ago, you can now see that there's a massive difference. Nearly 6,000 passive experience difference that comes through all of those forts and the keep taken down. Catapults are pushing in too. We have the team in blue already moving in with the Siege Giants, not even waiting for the Web Weavers. They're obviously going to try and end the game here. But they are already dropping the fort before the Web Weavers are even there. Top Web Weaver is in position as well. The one at the bottom has now started, and the only thing that can save In the Rhythm now. Gaming in the Rhythm, they need a big team fight. They need a big win here. But now 2 of their cores are gonna, 2 of their lanes are going to attack the core pretty soon with catapults, since they are continuously spawning right now. And we're seeing the middle pushed aggressively as well. The start into the first Division S qualifier for 42 Esports is a good one so far. Game number 1 dominant, but again, this is a best of 3 series. Here come the stuns. Garrosh with a save once again. Huff with a great play. Buddha has to get away from this one. They're trying to make the play for Jaina. Sonya falls, walk back into the fight and just dies. Jaina also only delayed the inevitable. She goes down too. That's a double kill. Make it a third. Nope. Huff is again successful in dodging the final blow. But the core won't be so lucky. All of the keeps are down, and that is with 9 kills against 2. Very likely the end of game number 1 here in Tomb of the Spider Queen. Gaming in the Rhythm goes down as 42 Esports takes the victory in the first game of the series and takes the lead with a 1-0. Game number 2, 42 Esports against In the Rhythm. Ready and good to go. 42 Esports, one of the dominant teams in Division 2 of Heroes launch in the first round of the first Division S qualifier. And well guys, we are starting to head into this, and I'm pretty excited for it because so far 42 Esports is doing really well, but keep in mind that later on in this tournament we're going to see a lot of the teams that have former pro players in their lineup. So this is where the real test is. And as I said before, the first team or the team to go win the tournament will actually claim a spot in Division S, but there's still points that you gather by moving on from round to round, and that eventually might lead to a qualification for your team for Division S as well. So, with that said, we're now having Zeratul, first of all, banned out, so nothing really changed on that end. You don't want to run into a Ring of Frost burst damage combo with a setup through the Void Prison. And we have Maiev also banned out immediately. So right now, we're having I would expect that we're actually seeing some bans at the front line again, and that's exactly what's happening here. We saw the pattern in the first game, and if you're playing on a small map with those quick rotations, then that might apply a little bit more. But the whole idea is obviously that engage heroes that can set up like an engage, like a combo, that they are getting limited a bit so that your opponent has a tougher time to really get those quick kills. And Garrosh is a great tank for that. Huff played it well in the last game too. He definitely saved a lot of the heroes that 42 Esports were trying to take down. And here comes the Hanzo ban on the other side now. But it is Volskaya, so there's a few heroes, of course, that get or gain added value. Blaze in particular is a hero that we have to mention. But a Nubarak, so quick engages. And with the Nubarak being taken this early, the immediate question is what happens to Tyrande and what happens to Malfurion. Those are the two go-to heroes that you want to play with a Nubarak if the idea is to go in and quickly take a target down. So that's something that we have to watch out for now. Are they going to make that play? And how exactly is In the Rhythm going to respond? They have Li Ming already, so they have the laser against Nubarak's cocoon that they use to disintegrate, and they don't go in any of the two supports. They're pretty much saying, yeah, you're going to get one of them either way. We don't care which one it is. So now Tyrande and Malfurion are both up. Another support that oftentimes is strong on this map, but doesn't synergize that well with the Nubarak, is Alexstrasza. And here is Tyrande together with Jaina. So already a super scary lineup that we are seeing for 42 Esports. And they can now ban out, let's say, Malfurion if they want to. 42 Esports, that is. If they're afraid of Diablo setting a combo up through a charge, a shadow charge, an overpower, and simply gets the target into position, that's definitely one of the things that they could do here. Leo gets banned for the offlane, so that Diablo can't get drained that quickly. And, well, what's the last ban that we're seeing for 42 Esports? You could really consider banning out Malfurion, but then again, it's not really obvious if Gaming in the Rhythm would go for a combo setup. As I said, Alexstrasza is another really, really good support on the map. But we have Ana banned. Ana was played in the last game. With Li Ming, it's another combo that works, so I can absolutely understand that thought process too. Arthur's for the side lane, and that makes for a beefy front line. It's actually tricky with this. So that's actually a super, super scary setup. With Rhaegar as a support. Did not quite expect that, but you have also Lightning Shield. You have the burst heal on him. A support that we have actually seen in the final rounds of the Nations Cup a couple of times too, especially from the Swedish team. But for now, could see maybe Jim Raynor. Blaze and Jim Raynor would be a good setup for this right now. There's Jimmy. Do we get Blaze? Tyrael instead. Totally on board with Tyrael too. We get the shields, we get Sanctification on the fight. Blaze would have been great here as well, but I really like that setup. It's an insanely strong draft. Like 42 Esports has a really powerful draft right now. They have a tough front line to go up against. They have to somehow deal with Diablo and Arthas, and that is not going to be easy. They have to coordinate their efforts here to make sure that they get these kills in, but it's not going to be easy at all. What's the last pick? Are we maybe going to see that Phoenix? No, Alarak. No Phoenix with Diablo, no Salvo together with the Lightning Breath. Instead, we are seeing Alarak now. So very, very melee heavy setup that we now get from them. And that's what Gaming in the Rhythm is going to try to come back into the series. Let's see if it happens or if we have a 2-0 victory as we head into Volskaya Foundry. Game number 2. 42 Esports is in the lead, and we are heading into Volskaya Foundry with Thunderbear on Tyrael, we have Ditrio on Nubarak, Opadopa on Raynor, Uki on Jaina, and Weirdbeard is playing Tyrande again in game number 2. Gaming in the Rhythm, on the other hand, is playing with Haft on Diablo this time. We have Lindquist on Alarak, Labuta on Arthas, Pink Unicorn on Li Ming, and Spieli on Rhaegar. Let the games continue as we have an opportunity for the blue team to take this series in the single elimination bracket and move forward to the next round of the tournament. Again, this is the first of 4 qualifiers. In terms of builds, we have for Rhaegar, especially on level 1, of course, is Colossal Totem, so the synergy with the level 16 talent is what he's going to be looking for here. Jimmy has a lot of slows on the other side that he can use to proc the ace in the hole. Would have been a little bit better with Blaze. Blaze's oil spill is great for it too, but we still have the stuns from Anubarak. And of course at the same time also Turanda. Question is, Jaina slow too. Question for me is, are we going to see better barbs on level 4 for Anub, or is he going to go into a more traditional build here? 4-man rotations from both teams, and there comes the aggression from Diablo. Now keep in mind, as we are on Volskaya Foundry, 1 minute into the game, we have the camp spawning, already spawning right now, and you want to make sure that you grab your own turret as quickly as you can, so that you afterwards can guard the spot right here in the top and make sure that you get this one as well, or at least deny your opponent. And already we're seeing that quick transition from 42 Esports. A bit of a late move from In the Rhythm, but they have a different idea. Their game plan is right now to abandon the camp for the time being and instead just taking this one first. The scout is here from 42 Esports, but the rotation is too late and they give it up. So they made a conscious decision here to say, okay, give it up, because they could have rotated. It's one of the plays that your opponent can make that you have to watch out for, and they did. So now there's the safe transition down here to the bottom right that can be done by gaming In the Rhythm at any point to get their own turret. That also means, of course, because of the delay, their turret is going to spawn a lot later during the objective, and they might not be able to get use of that second turret during your objective time, depending on how long the teams will fight over it. But they get the healing beacon. And that's a gamble that they made here, and so far it worked out, because 42 Esports, when they saw what was happening, said, well, don't worry about it, we're fine. But they use now that time where the commitment happens at the bottom right of the map to move to the top real quickly and already take down that tower to maybe 10-20% HP and basically drop the wall here. So that's already good damage on the structural side that they push through. We have the Carapace build continuing on Anubarak, really popular these days with the Shed Exoskeleton now. The increased movement speed for Anubarak. And outside of that, on level 4, we're now also seeing again the healing totem. But the first objective is about to start. And with the healing totem, you have another good tool for survivability. Now, it's of course pretty similar to that healing beacon here, so you can now basically drop 2 of them. We're seeing also Anubarak rotate in very, very early. Ditrio is trying to gain access to it. At the bot lane, Arthas is pretty much outpacing Tyrael in the early stages of the game. But Tyrael is going to be providing these shields and trying to create some space. Already moving in for that. And for the time being, they're doing fairly... Oh, Anubarak lands in a... Oh my god. What? He actually gets away? No, he gets bodied by the Alara combo. That's the first thing that happens here. And then on the way out, while he's still silenced, Haft slams him into a wall. But Anubarak gets the shield, gets the Tyrael shield, hits his Carapace, moves away and burrow charges out of there. Unbelievable that he actually survived that, but he did. First turret now dropped here in the fight from the blue team as they're starting to gain those points on the control point. But we're having the re-engage from 42 Esports as they're making the play and recapturing the control point right now. Turrets are going to be coming back up real soon. But we have, in terms of items, still that healing beacon available for Diablo. Here's the level 7 ability coming into play a bit quicker for gaming In the Rhythm. So they have an advantage now heading into the next fight. Still heroes split on the map. Alarak top side, bottom of the map. Arthas is trying to push another wave out. But here comes that earlier second turret that we talked about at the beginning, and it's not going to be available for the red team for quite a few seconds. So now we have an additional item in the hands of 42 Esports, and they have the level 7 talents too. And with that, we're now seeing the Celestial Attunement. We have the Chitinous Plating here for Alarak, which is going to be great for him, considering how heavily he's focused. And the Swift Retribution as well, which is fantastic for Jimmy. Jimmy wants to get the damage. Diablo's already in trouble. And they have to drop the Healing Ward and the Healing Beacon. Both are being used right away, but the team still has to move out. Double turret on the control point, and 42 Esports has a good position at this point in time. Down here, there's the item, but they can't grab it. They do not have the time, and that's exactly the problem that we talked about earlier. They're trying, though. They're actually trying to grab it. They might have the time to re-engage really late with a last-ditch effort into the beacon, into the control point, and try to set that up. Here we go. But one turret is still on the ground. Jaina's making her way back in, 92%. It's the last fight. And they go for Nubarak again, but the stun of Tyrande comes out and stops the effort right there. Big battle going on right now. And with that, we're having Alarak also completing his quest immediately. Here comes the engage against Diablo again. Arthur's is still in the mix, slowing everybody down with the Frozen Tempest. Great stun against him, though. And he goes down. Haft survives with 4 hit points. 4 hit points on Diablo as he moves out, but the Protector has now been claimed. Protector number 1 is in play, and we're seeing again the big attack here straight in the middle. Protector moves in, Jaina already moved to the bottom, and keep in mind how much they already damaged the top wall earlier. This is going to be an easy grab on the fountain, and very, very likely it's also going to be a destroyed fort. Fort is being attacked, Alarak is already low, the rest of the team starts rotating in and trying to work on those minions so that they are soaking the shots and not the Protector itself. But an absolutely amazing start here for 42 Esports into it. Gaming in the Rhythm looked good on the last Protector. They actually looked like they could make a move here. Like they could maybe win the first Protector. Had a couple of good moments in those team fights, especially when they nearly killed the Nubarak. But then they just got wrecked on the front line with Jaina damage, with Tyrande. And are now here to the top. Things are getting a little bit hairy. No kill against Alarak, but the wave blown to pieces, the fort taken down, everything prepping for the next objective, which will spawn topside. And now a quick move towards the healing beacon, grabbing that as quickly as they can. They have, of course, a huge advantage of running a level 10 now as well. Level 10 ability for them, it's the tickets to dominate the camps. And they are now starting to take all the camps that they can claim here. As expected, we have Sanctification, we have the Cocoon. Jaina did not go into the Ring of Frost, could have used that as a setup, but instead tries to control the melee front line of the opponent with the Water Elemental. And for pretty much the same reason, we also have Starfall right now. Slows the target even more. And not only does that control the front line really well, where we have a very melee-heavy setup for 42 Esports, but you also proc Jimmy's damage even more. It's all about the ace in the hole. 15% more damage, that's a lot, and if you can combine those heroic abilities with that level 1 ability, you will get a lot out of it. Even thinking about taking that fight here, but shy away from it. They are in the lead, and they know that of course too, so can play this a little bit slower now. Yeah. Item is taken, terms of damage, Jimmy as expected, sitting on 19k, and as we said before, that will continue now. That will continue now even more. Topside camp has taken very, very early, but again, the camp is going to be on the top, or the objective is going to be on the top either way. But the situation for Gaming in the Rhythm is still one where they will be able to fight for it. You look at experience and you realize very quickly that they are pretty much even with their opponent. The big difference really comes from the structural advantage on the top lane that exists for 42 Esports once that the next objective starts. You still have a fountain, you still can tap during the objective, you can make a coordinated effort to go for the tactical retreat and then just go back into the control point, try and fight for it and take Protector number 2. And if that actually happens, if they take the second Protector, that's normally when things are starting to go slightly south. So Gaming the Rhythm, they know that too, and they're just saying, okay guys, don't fall too far behind, let's make sure that we don't die here, let's take level 13 during the second phase and then start moving in and trying to make a play here. And they're rotating aggressively. They had the pressure at the top lane. They don't have a fort there anymore, so they have a bit more leeway, moving more so with 4 or 5 people on the map. But they have to be careful that they don't lose any heroes just now. Because the 13 talent here is already dropping into the hands of 42 Esports a bit quicker. Keep the passive experience gained through the destroyed fort in mind. But it will still be there during the objective, so you can still make that fight. Tyrael going into the Law and Order right now. Where at the same time we have the Giddy Up taken for Jimmy. We have also the Owl now continuing, and even the Eradicating Spines here for Nubarak. So full on focus into the armor. The trio is just like playing around armor the entire time here right now. And the 13 talent allows them to be a bit more aggressive, which they use in the mid lane to put damage onto the fort itself. But now that we are having 13 nearly ready for the red team, that's really the time when In the Rhythm can start and make a bit of a play topside. So far, no one has captured that control point. No one has really gone for it. Instead, the focus point seems to be the turret camp at the bottom. And they're invading it. They're saying, yep, we're going to take that. And Nubarak is a bit too late. They're taking the position and they steal it away. That's 2 turrets now for them. 2 turrets against 1 and the healing beacon. Combo attempt again from Alarak. Alarak still sitting at 90, by the way, on the sadism. Completing his level 1 though, gets all the quest rewards here. And now, both of the teams willing to fight in the middle here. We're not seeing even that engage up top. The engage from Arthas and Diablo not really working out the way that they intended, but here comes the Cocoon, immediately blown up by the Disintegrate, but Rhaegar is low, Sanctification is far out, D-Trio moving away, and there's the Lightning Breath. They don't get the kill against Arthas as the Ancestral Healing comes through, but that's a lot of heroic cooldowns. That's all heroic cooldowns pretty much exchanged here, and no kill yet. One single kill in the game, by the way. A single game. That's all that we got here. The push towards the top lane now, but we still have also healing beacon up, and it gets triggered. They're thinking about snacking it, but Anubarak has already started to take control over the beacon. Not quite the beacon. Same tile set, different map. The control point, obviously. And Anubarak can of course make that engage here whenever. They have the item advantage. The blue team has the item advantage to fight for this. They can sacrifice a few items to fight for that right now. And here comes the damage again. And Gaming in the Rhythm, they can't take that. Oh my god, Diablo goes down and Arthas is going to fall too. So will Alarak. Arthas might actually be able to walk away since he used his own Howling Blast to lock the target down. But here comes the kill against Li Ming in the middle. And that's a double right there. It was actually triple, considering that Diablo, of course, lost his souls, but he's back to business, and that is now one nail into the coffin of Gaming in the Rhythm. It might not be the final one, but with Anubarak taking the top position here and getting the objective, with them closing in on level 16, and now even stealing the lunch money, the turret of Gaming in the Rhythm, it doesn't really look pretty for the red team. They did well in some of those fights, and they definitely are trying to fight back here, but they're slightly outclassed currently in this first game of the qualifier by 42 Esports, who play a strong game for now. They have the position that they need, they have access to the second protector in just a moment. And then the traditional move would be to move down to the bottom of the map and claim the fort, but considering how far ahead they are, they could make the play for keep here for sure. 2 levels ahead, 4 kills against 0, having level 16 talent. And, yep, even invading now the camp here. Diablo is already dead, taken down by the Protector. The camp is stolen too. This looks more and more like it's going to be an easy Khadgar keep right there. And I don't think you can stop that. I mean, Diablo falling in that case. The camp stolen away. The timing's absolutely not working out for Gaming in the Rhythm with that particular setup that they were trying to use to defend against the Protector. And now the Protector simply takes out that keep. Easy peasy. No questions asked. Can they kill more? It looks like it, don't it? Ancestral Healing keeps Arthas alive for another moment or two, but it's still not enough to help him here. And they're thinking, guys, do we core? Can we core? It's like, death timers are low. We're 13 minutes in. Is that really possible right now? But they're going for it. They might not be... Oh! Alarak got Alarak. Oh, that could be the end of the game here. Diablo falls again, and yeah, that should be lights out. I thought maybe they can somehow defend and just lose 50% of the HP, but with all the heroes getting dropped here, there is no way. 42 Esports, they claim victory, they take the 2-0, and they advance to the next round of the first Division S qualifier.